Hello everyone and welcome back. A couple years ago I put out a video talking about how higher-end automobiles, especially BMWs, have a mechanical turn signal system that requires blinker fluid to lubricate. And because you can't reach the reservoir, that's why you often don't see BMWs with functioning turn signals. If you're interested in seeing all of that video, it is linked in this eye up here in the corner as well as in the video description below. But during that video I said that Saturns and more economy cars don't have a blinker fluid system. I was fortunately corrected immediately after that, which is good. Mine was low. And I did some research to find out that the blinker fluid system in a Saturn ION is really unique and really interesting. So I'm going to go over that and how to actually fill up your blinker fluid today. Let's get to it. Now, a higher-end BMW or something like that uses a mechanical system that needs lubrication. The turn signal bulb in a Saturn ION doesn't need that. It is just an electrical bulb. However, it is one that runs very hot. So the blinker fluid here is instead one that is used for cooling. And the system is called Automated Filament Dispersal. In the cable that goes up to the bulb, there's actually a small feed of fluid that comes in and works as basically cooling fluid. If you've ever used liquid cooling in a PC, it's a similar sort of idea that then takes the heat and brings it back out. This is a system that was experimental, and I'm going to go a little bit more into what cars could have used it and why they decided not to. So the Saturn ION is the only one that uses automated filament dispersal. Its main benefit is that the bulbs can last almost forever by staying nice and cool, but there are some downsides too, and that includes needing to actually fill up the blinker fluid reservoir. So I'm going to pop this open and we're going to take a peek at how to do that. Now, you might remember a few weeks ago when I replaced the headlights on my car, and one of the things that I did was that I tried to replace the turn signal bulb as well, and I did a lot of mucking around back here trying to pull it out. Ultimately, it's a good thing that I didn't, because this is an enclosed loop with the automated filament dispersal cooling system. In addition to the electrical leads going in here, there's a couple of extra leads for the cooling, meaning fluid goes in, fluid comes out. And I hadn't depressurized the AFD system. So if I'd managed to actually detach the bulb, there would have been blinker fluid everywhere and it would have been a bad time. So again, if you ever do have to swap the bulb, you need to depressurize that. I'll probably go over that in a later video, but right now we're just looking at how to fill your reservoir back up. So your blinker fluid reservoir is not labeled. It's not like the washer fluid right here or anything like that, but it is this right here. And there's two ways that you can tell. First off, it says never open hot, and that's how you can tell it's something that has to do with cooling. In this case, it is cooling the filaments right there. The other way you can tell, and this is kind of a cheat, is that the fluid in there is orange. Blinker fluid is orange. It matches the amber of the turn signals that you've got. Even if you have a car with red rear signals, though, it is still the same fluid for that. Again, the Saturn ION has just red rear turn signals, so this is going to be fine. The actual fluid that you're going to use is ID 10T blinker fluid. I'm going to link to this in the description below. It is 710 cap compatible, which means that for some cars, instead of having a separate reservoir like this, you dump it straight into the engine block, and then it kind of sorts it from there. Don't do this with your Saturn, okay? Make sure you know what you're doing. You have a separate reservoir for a reason. And really all you got to do is, the hard part is locating this reservoir. So open it up. Had a little bit of a pop there, which is probably because it was still running a little warm because I had those on at the start of the video. Not the best idea, but it wasn't too bad. And just add your fluid until you're about even with the middle right here. Now this is pretty much there because I did top this off around the 200,000 mile mark. and I'm kind of getting it everywhere. This particular fluid is a little greener, but skin contact is okay, but don't get it in your eyes, because then you'll just kind of be blinking uncontrollably, and you don't want that. That's uncomfortable. Once you've topped that off, just skew that back down, cover this back up, keep it safely to the side. Blinker fluid generally only comes in half-quart sizes. You're not going to be using too much. It doesn't get used up that much, but just in case. If you need to put in more than half quart, then something's wrong in your system and you do need to bring that in for service. Oh, I didn't realize that I still had the blinkers on over here. I thought I turned them off before starting that. That was why that popped, is because this system was still running. Don't do that. Play it safe. So why was automated filament dispersal only used in the Saturn ION? The Saturn ION was kind of a test bed for stuff for GM. The Delta platform was brand new, and they started off with this in the 2004 model year. After that, then stuff that worked went over to the Chevy Cobalt and the Pontiac G5. But they don't use automated filament dispersal. They just use regular uncooled bulbs. And the reason is that, as cool as the technology is, as nice as it is to get blinkers that stay on and never have to be replaced, it changes one form of monetary maintenance for another. The Cobalt and the G5, as well as most other economy cars, you got to replace the bulbs every now and then, and there's a bit of a cost to that. You don't have to replace the bulbs in the ION, but you do need to put in blinker fluid, and the cost kind of comes out to about the same. So why put in the more complicated technology if it's not going to benefit the consumer? It was a really cool idea that unfortunately just didn't make sense when it was brought into the real world. But it does show one more way that Saturn was trying stuff that nobody else was at the time. So who knows? Maybe in the near future, we'll have another car that gives automated filament dispersal another try. Let me know if you've seen any other cars with AFD in the wild there. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. Be sure to check out my other blinker fluid video, as well as the video where I swapped out the headlights here and again had some troubles swapping out the turn signals because I didn't realize it. So thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, and I will see you next time.